Hey folk, Alice from Venngage here. Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about colour relationships in less than 3 minutes, which isn't very long. We've actually got another video, everything you need to know about colour, answering the questions what is colour, why do we see colour, talking about different sort of ways that we can measure colour as well. I'll pop a link to that in the description below and just up there, so make sure you check that out. Right, so let's get started. What do we mean by colour relationships? Colour relationships are a way that we can talk about how colours relate to each other, both scientifically and aesthetically. There's a couple of different types of colour relationships. The main ones you've probably heard of are colour families, colour palettes, and complementary colours. Okay, so colour families are ways that we break up the colour wheel. There are 3 main categories for this: warm, cool, and neutral. The warm colours are the oranges and the reds, things that sort of invoke imagery of fires, of the sun, hence why we call them the warm colours. The cool colours are the blues and the greens. These are the colours we associate with ice and snow, hence why we call them the cool colours. But they also invoke a sense of tranquility. Blue is quite often used in spas because it's a relaxing colour. The neutral colours are the browns, which is a combination of the 3 primary colours, red, yellow and blue, and the 2 non-colours, black and white. We call black and white non-colours because they're more to do with light than colour itself. Check out the other colour video for more about this. The good-looking designs tend to sit comfortably within one of the colour families. So it'll be a warm design or a cool design. Really clever designers can mix the colour families together, but it's really easy to get this wrong. So in general, we recommend that beginners just stick to using one of the colour families in their designs. I also want to talk about bright and muted colours. Bright colours are the most vibrant ones. These can either be warm or cool, but never neutral. Have you ever heard of a bright brown? Muted colours, however, can be neutral as well as warm or cool. These are the softer colours. Okay, so picture a colour wheel. The colours that sit opposite each other are the complementary colours. Complementary colours are also sometimes called contrasting colours. Basically, all this means is that because they sit across from each other in the colour wheel, they create the greatest contrast when placed together. Some examples of complementary colours are orange and blue, red and green, yellow and purple. Okay, so now back to the colour wheel. The colours that sit next to each other are called colour harmonies. This could all be in the warm or the cool palette, or it could be a combination of the 2. Basically, if you use 2 or 3 colours that sit next to each other, your design's bound to look great. If you hear the term monochromatic, that means that all the colours used in the design have the same base colour, but they're in varying shades, tints and tones. A shade is a colour plus black, a tint is a colour plus white, and a tone is a colour plus black and white. Okay, so colour palettes. A colour palette is a collection of colours designed to be used together. Usually between 4 and 7 colours, a colour palette is most commonly used by brands to differentiate themselves. When creating designs, it's always best to stick to one consistent colour palette. Colour palettes can contain monochromatic colours, colour families, colour harmonies, or complementary colours. So a colour palette is basically just a bunch of colours you've decided you want to have a relationship. See how we tied that all back? Pretty neat, huh? And that is everything you need to know about colour in less than 3 minutes.